Hello and welcome to the Halls Variety Pack film review. This week we're going to be reviewing The Last Jedi. Now this video is going to be spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about any of the story points being ruined for you. But enough waffling for me, let us just dive headfirst into the film review! Right, it's time for The Last Jedi film review. This is probably the fourth attempt that I've taken to actually do the bloody thing. I did one version of it for the radio show, which was more of a first impressions thing, and at least two other versions that haven't really been finished because I recorded them late at night. I was very tired and still very much in the afterglow of watching the movie. I'm just going to come out and say here and now, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie almost from start to finish. If I'm going to be honest, there was a moment towards the start of this movie which I really didn't like. Now, usually at this point in the review I'd give kind of a synopsis of the story, but because this is the spoiler-free version of the story, or rather the review, I'm going to avoid doing that. When I came into watching this movie, I did it as neutrally and as metaphorically naked as I possibly could do. I only really saw the one trailer, and I only think I saw that once, maybe twice. No promotional material, no other trailers, only the odd theory video, but that was only just to see just how weird and wonderful some of those videos can be. And I have to say that, bar a bit towards the beginning, I did enjoy the movie. I did have a few concerns going into this movie. My first concern was that this was just going to be The Empire Strikes Back version 2.0, much how The Force Awakens was pretty much A New Hope done again. As the oft-quoted phrase is, it's like poetry, it rhymes. Thankfully we don't really get that with this movie. There's the odd echo of The Empire Strikes Back and to a certain degree the Return of the Jedi, but not really to quite as an overt degree as within The Force Awakens. The other concern that I had was that this movie was going to be a little bit too fan-servicey and a little bit too Joss Whedon-esque with its quips. I'm happy to say that, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any real great fan service moments, not at least in the quite as, again, overt way as within The Force Awakens. We don't have anything quite on the scale of, whoa, look, it's the holographic chess table, oh, they're putting Captain Phantasm in the crushing machine, oh, it's a little droid with the plans with the Death Star in it, oh, that's never happened, whoa, it's just like the last time we did, ha ha ha, hey, there's always a way to blow up the thing, and other things I've forgotten about that I don't quite remember from the previous movie because it's been a while since I've seen it. Thankfully we didn't really have anything like that. I'm sure that there are a few, but they're probably for more hardcore fans. I've looked up a couple of reviews of the movie since I saw it last night, and from the hardcore Star Wars fan base, they're practically with just how much of the more hardcore Easter eggs there are within the movie. The other main issue that I worried about was the Joss Whedon-esque quips. There was quite a few of those in The Force Awakens, wasn't there? You know, stuff like, droid, please! Thankfully, we didn't really have anything like that in this movie, while towards the start of it. At the beginning of this movie, the opening action sequence is fantastic. Great tension. The way this movie starts out really, well, it sets the tone for the entire movie, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Bar one thing. There's a little bit of witty banter which just deflates all tension from that scene. And it just feels so totally awkward. The feeling of hashtag cringe, as the kids these days feel, or rather say, it was just palpable in the screening room. I could have sworn that I just saw a few people just looking at each other like, is this really happening in a Star Wars movie? But thankfully we don't really have anything quite like that, and any kind of comic-y, reliefy, witty quips here and there are a lot more subtle and a lot less obnoxious than we had in previous editions of it. I was really worried that this would just be Empire Strikes Back 2.0 with as many Joss Whedon quips as we could possibly fit into it. Excuse the weird edit point there, I'm coming down with a cold, I think. Anyway, the main issue of criticism that I think I have for the movie is kind of twofold. The big issue that I have is I think there were too many action sequences within the movie. Whilst I did enjoy almost every action sequence within it, I enjoyed the variety of scenes and locations and what went on. I think back to the fact there were so many of them, and there was very rarely much time to breathe thereafter, that it meant that or more often than not, character development for certain characters didn't really feel quite as fulfilled as it would have would been. Certain characters with their impact upon the story, it for me didn't quite feel as impactful due to the fact that we didn't really get much time with them. this is the point where I'm walking around the spoilers as best I can. But what we'll say is that despite that, all the characters that we have previously, all the new characters, Finn, Rey, Poe, they get more screen time. They feel a lot more developed. Poe actually does stuff in this movie. He just doesn't appear like he does in the previous movie and then disappears for the majority of it. He actually does things. You get more of a sense of his character this time around. This is a movie which is... You know what? I almost gave away another spoiler, potentially, talking about it thematically, but I think... Given that I'm really restraining myself now to give away spoilers, I think this is a time that I should just call the review and just say, this movie is fantastic. I loved almost every second of it. Again, there was a few moments it did irk me because of the Joss Whedon-esque quips. There wasn't as much fan service, which is a good thing. Yeah, maybe the middle portion of the movie did dip a little bit, but I didn't hate it quite as much as other people did. But in the all, I think it's a fantastic movie. For me, it is better than The Force Awakens. It is definitely up there, maybe in my top 3 of Star Wars movies. But what about you? Did you love the movie? Did you hate it? Are you going to see it? Are you looking forward to it? Leave a comment in the comment section below, whichever website you're watching this on. Try to keep it spoiler-free, because this is the spoiler-free video. Don't ruin it for anybody. Don't do any nasty things. Just say whether you enjoyed it and try and talk around certain things that you disliked if they're a spoiler. Because, well, if I've got to suffer trying to do it, you may as well do it too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it if you did. Subscribe. Sorry, I'm feeling a little bit revolting having to do the YouTuber. Like, share, subscribe, boy! Yeah. I'm now going to take a brief moment to have a swig of water, and then we'll go straight, for me, to the spoiler video. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Goodbye!